Is it working? Can you hear me? Hi, everybody. This is amazing. I'm so nervous. I'm just going to say that, get it out of the way. You know, I started on YouTube like 10 years ago, and this is my first YouTube live stream.
YouTube.
Ooh, there's an echo.
Oh, there's an echo.
I don't like that. Okay, I'm just going to mute. Y'all can hear me, right? Okay, so thank you everyone for watching. I did prepare some notes, and definitely drop your questions. Marisha's in here. Marisha is everything, but you saw her in the video. She was the director, producer. Like, we just shot this on my phone. We shot this she shot pretty much all the footage in this. We have some snippets of the video where footage, you can kind of tell from the quality it was shot on a camera from music videos that me and Marisha made. So if you're familiar with my older work, Crying Liberty and Doctor and Monster, which are music videos me and Marisha made from scratch. We like made the song and then we made the music video. So I snuck some footage in there. I'm wondering, did anyone catch an odd-faced makeup tutorial character? She was in the hotel section, and I'm wondering if anyone caught that. Tell me if you caught it. Thank you, everyone. Okay. I'm gonna try to keep the flow going and what I'm saying, and also paying attention to what is being said on the screen. Okay, so let me just interact for a bit. I hope you all enjoyed it. What I've been working on doing, which I've accepted as interesting to me, is combining horror with mental health, which was very, very confusing to me at first, because usually mental health is like demonized in horror. Like, the horror genre is used to make it evil. And I just had this wild idea where I sense there's a way to like face your darkness and heal yourself within using horror or the macabre. And this video I'm really proud of, because I feel like it's a step in that direction where it kind of makes sense to me, because it did not make sense to me at all before. And I'm hoping it resonated in that way for one of you or some of you, or in the future. And I hope it's rewatchable too. I know the text was really fast, and sometimes like there's not enough time to read stuff, but my goal was to make it rewatchable, so you can just, like, my favorite movies are rewatchable. It's something I can go back to, and then I'll just notice something that I didn't know so much before. And I'm big on journaling. I'm big on meditation. So when I watch movies or TV shows, I always think like, what was the heart of it? What was it about? And so with American Horror Story, I love, the anthology of it. I think it's one of, horror was having a moment back when this show started, back in, I'm not going to say, but I'll tell you why later. But I feel like it's one of the shows that kind of put, the horror genre on the map, and it became like people started doing it, like Walking Dead, American Horror Story came out around the same time, I think. But wait, people are saying stuff. Thank you for all the love on my Samara video. That's my top watched video. Still, to this day, I still get views from it. People are just finding it. I've bumped into people in the street that are like, you were part of my childhood. You're Samara. And I'm like, I am an old lady now. Yes, that was me. I'm Samara. And it's so interesting, because going back to like healing and horror and facing your darkness, Samara still scares me. Can you believe that? Like, if I watch The Ring, I get really jittery when she comes towards the camera. So it's really interesting that became like my most popular video. Face your fears, you'll get YouTube views. But you know what, I really want to do a whole video on Samara and just talk about like the process of making that. It was really strange. Oh my gosh, that was 10 years ago. Hello from Japan. Hi to everyone wherever you are in the world. Isn't this amazing that we can like live stream now? Like, if I had known as a little girl you could just like turn on your phone or your computer and like have your own TV show. That's wild. Yes, please rewatch it. I'm gonna rewatch it. Well, I've rewatched it so many times because I edited it, but let me stick to my aloha from Hawaii. Hello. Okay. So, questions. Caleb, I see you. I think I remember the photo you sent me. You might have posted it on Instagram. I think I saw it. Thank you. I'm glad my video helped you win that contest. Yes. Okay. What do I have here? I don't know if anyone said it, but Samara was in this video. If anyone caught it, she was in the hotel section. Maybe not as like full out, and the wig was a little shisty, but Samara was in there. I did the crawling. It was super fast, but it was so hot. Most of the days, this was all shot in 2019, and it's interesting editing it now and just knowing if I don't mention it was shot in 2019, it'd be like, why are you hiking without a mask? So it's interesting how much backed up footage I have from not just 2019, but a long time ago, and editing it today in 2020. If you haven't noticed, it's really hard for me to finish a project. It's really hard for me to edit, but I'm getting better at it. I'm working on it. I'm going to get into that later. I can talk a bit about, me being away from YouTube. I know I've made videos about it before, but that's really, I think, what led me to exploring my mental health, and then coming back to YouTube and being the person I am. I used to feel a lot of guilt just saying, like, observing other YouTubers who are killing it, who never disappeared, and they just kept making videos, and I see their progress. And I used to beat myself up thinking, like, what if I just kept making videos? Like, I would have done, like, who would I have been? Like, how many followers would I have? Like stuff that's like super ego, not super ego, but is very ego. And it's just not, it's not really what's going to make you happy, but you think that's like what you should have been doing. And I think everyone can relate to that in some form. Like, what if I had kept doing this hobby, or stayed in school, or stayed in this city, or moved, or whatever? Who would I have been? What it comes down to is you're going to drive yourself crazy. I drove myself crazy. And it's, instead of me saying, like, who would I have been if I had kept making YouTube videos, now it's like I was doing something, offline, like becoming and learning and being messy and learning these life lessons. So what's happening for me now is like bringing all the stuff I did do and learn, even if it wasn't YouTube videos. Like I worked a lot of interesting jobs that I could talk about now. I faced like my incredible like insecurities with acne and going through that and still learning to love myself. I learned I have anxiety. I have depression. For those who don't know, I was diagnosed with a bipolar disorder, so I can speak to that and like the struggles that I've gone through to still show up today as a person, as an artist. And I think, these things can make life difficult sometimes, but I think one of the greatest things we can do is turn around and be like, there's other people who are struggling. It's a travesty to think and convince yourself like you're the only one going through it. And I think that's, especially what like depression does, is it isolates your mind and it makes you think, I'm alone. Wait, what's going on this live stream? This is about American Horror Story. Mental health. But I did mean to talk about mental health. There's a question. Are you planning on releasing any more videos soon? I always have this grand idea where I'm going to release one video every day in October, and it never happens because I put too much on my plate. I'm not realistic with like how long it actually takes me to make something. But originally I had like 17 videos that I was 17 videos. Ooh, there's 17 people in this room right now that I was going to release this October. Realistically, there's going to be this one, and I have I'm putting all the short horror films I made together into a film festival. So that's going to be at the end of this month. And then into the remainder of 2020 and into 2021, I'm going to say you're going to see a lot more from me, and it's going to be very different. It's not just going to be makeup tutorials anymore, and I'm going to talk more about that later too. Just going back to what I said about who I've become, I think I had a lot of shame around thinking, I know that makeup tutorials put me on the map, if you will, like the YouTube somewhat internet famous map. So I felt like I had to keep doing what put me on the map, even if it wasn't really making me happy. I still love makeup. I'll always love makeup, but in the form of feeling like I have to always show how I did this look and I have to make a tutorial, a lot of the time it doesn't speak to me in the same way it used to. But you'll still see me making a makeup tutorial here and there, but you're also going to see videos like this where it's like, what is that? Is it a music video? Is it spoken word? Is it an experience? And last year, I've been really drawn to the art world, and live performance and just strange, like not strange. I don't think strange is an insult, but more experimental, avant-garde live performance, just things like I don't even know how to define them. So I'm being really drawn to that, and I try not to over define it because I'll drive myself crazy because I'm becoming as an artist, I'm drawn to so many things, and it's can get really, really manic for me at times, but it's starting to make more sense. Like the message I have for the world, what I want to do with my art, what makes me happy when I release something, whether it's a video or a photo or an art book, or what else have I been doing? I started making art prints. I started making t-shirts. There's a lot going on, but let's see. People are speaking. There's a lot of questions. Yes, I can relate. I had to learn to accept myself, and it's blasphemous to only think of others and never think of yourself. Yes, self-love. Can we get into that for a bit? I've been on that journey for at least 4 years now, and it has like helped me incredibly. My relationship with myself really set the tone for relationship with everyone else, and working on like admitting I'm codependent. That's another thing that I'll say openly has helped me. And if you don't know what self-love is or codependency, I recommend reading about it, because that brain fart, that helped me a lot, because it explained a lot of this unnecessary suffering I was going through. And so if I could link that back to like AUDFACED, I couldn't make videos if I didn't like myself or know who I was or why I was making videos. So I've done a lot of inner work on myself and working on my relationship with myself, like being alone for a bit. And I think it shows. I feel like there's a glow to me that's not there when I'm not taking care of myself and working on myself. And I feel like I got a dermatologist, which helped a lot with my skin, but my skin got better when I started like also taking care of like my mental health and my emotional health, and improving my relationship with myself made my friendships a lot healthier. And not just friendships, but also like how I interact with my family, or like a stranger on the street that would normally stress me out. But now I have boundaries and I know who I am and blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Marisha said, what was one thing you learned about yourself through creating these projects? That's a big question. What was one thing you learned? I was drawn to makeup because before makeup, I would draw, and I would always draw like female characters. I noticed ever since I was a little girl, and I would always draw them as like really extravagant, like some kind of monster, some kind of just not just a regular human. And there was a point when I was, I don't know, 13, where I was so drawn to how makeup artists could make themselves look however they want. And I had no idea how to do that. I didn't even know where to buy makeup. I thought the only place you could buy makeup was like Walmart, because I didn't know about Sephora. I didn't know about online stores and all that. So that's how makeup started. I think I'm going off subject. But wait, what was the question? I can't handle this. I'm like so like stimulated. What was one thing you learned about yourself through creating these projects? Well, this American Horror Story project, I learned how fulfilling it is to reflect on a show or a movie and use it in a therapeutic way, like literal movie therapy, because usually shows and movies are seen as like entertainment, just something to kill the time and to like run away from yourself. And sometimes that's very needed. I know movies have saved me when I was like sick and like bedridden or like depressed, and you do need to like escape sometimes. But another side of it is like watching something and it like can help you release emotions that you've been suppressing, or just see something that like, wow, that made me feel really alive. Maybe I want to learn to roller skate or to dance like that, or I want to take a dance class, or wow, that reminds me of my own relationship, which is like super not healthy, or this friendship, or I want to have a friend group like that. I don't know. So did that Marisha, did that answer the question? Yeah. So you can see how that's very different from a makeup tutorial, which used to be, I'm going to show you how to do exactly what I did. And I think I'm just very wild in spirit, where it's like a lot of the time I don't want to show people how to do exactly what I did. I want to inspire you and like be the, I'm not a pyromaniac, not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but I have a lighter because I lit incense. But I want to be like the spark, you know, like I want to be the spark that someone sees my art and it just something snaps in their head and they want to do something too, whether it's somewhat similar to mine, or I've had people tell me like, because of you, I went to makeup school and I didn't have the confidence to do that, or because of you, I'm not afraid to be odd, you know, or yeah, I've heard really like touching, beautiful stories from people that have private messaged me, and I hold these in my heart like really dear. At one point, I actually, when I was really depressed, I like saved a lot of nice comments that you all left me on my Silent Hill Dark Alessa video, and I just printed it out and I would read them when I was sad or when I was away from YouTube, and just to remind myself like people actually like connected with my art. And you know, a lot of the times we make something and it feels like we're in a vacuum and we wonder like, does anyone care? You know, there's so much suffering in the world and this is what I'm doing, like really. And I think we can agree that at the beginning of the pandemic, like a lot of people turned to artists. Maybe you've seen that quote going around, but it's like people, the world stopped, and what were people doing to cope? Like watching movies, shows, reading books, making their own art, listening to music. And so a lot of the time art just gets pushed aside like this extra thing, you know, if you have time or whatever. But I think it's very needed to, like, I'm not going to sit here and say art is like more important than a doctor, you know. It's like duality, you know, we need each other. There's healers of many kind. There's healers that are artists, there's healers that are like extremely intuitive doctors or teachers and or whatever. Y'all, I can get really deep. We can go on so many topics. I think I've barely talked about American Horror Story. Yes. I'm conflicted. Should I answer questions or look at my notes? Should answer questions because you're all here. Any funny moments while filming this project? I mean, you kind of saw some of them at the end, and I wanted to put so much more in, but I could really make a whole video about that. It was really just me and Marisha, and you know, we're such good friends. We've worked creatively together on so many projects, and it's can I like whittle it down to one story? Oh, so when we were filming the Roanoke part, we went to my favorite hiking trail, and I hope you all could notice or could tell that we were acting. I was like, I hope they don't think I'm really this ditzy, but I was playing like the LA stereotype, Valley Girl type character. But anyway, so we went out looking as normal people, and I had like this tote bag, and I had like a heart in it, you know, a bloody heart. I had blood, I had the wig, I had the dress, and at some point I just had to like change in the wilderness, and it was just a whole thing. And you know, it's Hollywood, so it's not, you know, it's not super secluded. And there's a point, I think, when I was like changing, and you know, there's insects in the wild, and at one point me and Marisha just heard this like zzz, and I thought that we were about to get swarmed by like wasps, because that's happened to me before, and like we're in the wilderness, and we were like we're trying to get this filming done before the sun goes down and like all this stuff. And then like Marisha's like super like protective. She's like so warm and motherly, but if someone like threatens someone she cares about, she's like I will fight whatever this is, whether it's like a ghost or like a human. And so I'm like, you know, with my boob out, I think I was changing. I don't know, Marisha, if you remember, but I was like changing, and we both just stopped. And I see Marisha just go like, She's just like trying to fight whatever is coming towards us, but neither of us can see it. We were so confused because it was loud. It was super loud. And I'm just like, I'm about to get swarmed by wasps with Marisha with my boob out. And like, with, you know, anyway, so it ended up being a drone. We'd never heard. I think drones were less common or something. I don't know, but it was a drone. And so that was good that it was a drone, but I was like, oh my gosh, I'm changing. And like, there's like I imagine like two guys just like, you know, playing with their drone, like, look, we found these two chicks in the wild. And so, yeah, that was, but the sound, like it really did. Drones, like you've heard a drone, right? When it's really close to you, they're loud. They're super loud. So that's one story. And I crack up every time I think of that, but really just, honestly, every time Marisha showed up to film with me, my anxiety was really bad because I didn't have support for it. A lot has happened between now and 2019, but I was like, okay, fine, I'll try out therapy. Fine, I'll try out a support group. Fine, I'll get a life coach. And it made my life better. But anyway, so back then I was just super anxious. I was always on edge, just like, whatever, especially when I'm doing something even that I love, like filming a makeup video or doing this film shoot. So she would show up and I would be like super not ready and talking about my acne and how blah, blah, blah. And like a part of me still wanted to like edit the footage and like blur it out. And I was like, maybe someone, you know, I went through that. Maybe someone needs to see that acne's like, it's definitely annoying, but maybe someone needs to see that someone did it anyway, you know, didn't hide just because she had, like, it was really painful. Like at that point in my life, my face would just hurt sometimes. It was just like throbbing. And I was like, I just woke up and my face is throbbing. Like, what do you want from me? So, what was the question? Funny story. So a lot of it, actually, we shot a lot of it at my apartment. Like that hallway is my apartment. Originally I was like, we're going to go into a haunted hotel in Hollywood and shoot this. And I was like, that's how you get possessed, like on top of trying to film there. And then you're going to rent a room and like, really. But so I use my hallway. I really like the checkered floor and the red door. So I know I won't live here forever. So it was really cool to get to put that into a video. And I know years later, I'm going to look at this and be like, that's my Hollywood apartment. You like my baby? So I painted, I don't know what that white thing is. It's been in my closet, but this baby was not red at first. So you know what? Originally, remember, I don't know if Marisha's still here. Originally, I wanted to shoot with a real baby. So, but not paint it red. I think the idea was I wanted like all my friends. So I'm 29. For those who don't know, and a lot of my friends are just popping out babies. They're just popping out, like, especially even after the pandemic, like everyone's just having a baby. And I was like, I'm going to ask someone if I can have their baby, and I'm going to hold the baby dressed as this, you know, apocalypse character. And then I'm going to get a doll that is the same size that baby is. And I'm going to paint it red and I'm going to edit it. And it's going to be super cool because it's going to be like, you know, you see a baby and it's like all delicate and then it's red all of a sudden. It's like, ooh, horror. But me and Marisha thought about it and she was like, so she has a lot more experience with kids than I do. She, sometimes I don't know if nannying is the right word, but she's like, I don't have younger siblings. I've never babysat in my life. I was a cabin leader at one point at a summer camp. But she was like, Kat, babies are really unpredictable. Like how is this going to work? Like we're going to drive like hours to go to her house. And then this baby might want to take a nap. This baby might bite you and be terrified because you're going to be dressed a certain way. And I was like, okay, we won't use a real baby. And I had a similar story. I wanted to use a real snake. And I think Marisha knew someone who had a snake. It wasn't, I think I wanted it to look, you know, like the one in the promotion, but I think the snake might have been like yellow. And I don't know much about snakes. I don't think snakes are like, if you ask me what my phobias were I wouldn't say snake, but then it really hit me. I was like, I think I'm kind of afraid of snakes. Like I know animals can sense fear, and so the snake's gonna be like, sucker, it's gonna sense my fear. So I got this. I think it looks great, but say hello to my little friend. I love how shiny it is. But yeah, so yep. So that's how it happened. But I don't want to be afraid of snakes. I just don't have any experience with them. I think they're gorgeous. In terms of Harry Potter, I still wish I was a Slytherin, but I'm a Hufflepuff, according to Pottermore. I like snakes, but yeah, I think they're very beautiful. Okay, so those are some funny stories. I think I should definitely edit like a behind the scenes thing. Like there was so much stuff I could share. And me and Marisha are we did go to Disneyland. So this was in 2019. So the idea was after our last film shoot, we're going to treat ourselves and we're going to go to Disneyland. And I think that's the last time I was there, because for those who don't know, Disneyland is closed. Downtown Disney's open though. Yeah, that was a good day. It's crazy, man. Like I'm so glad, like I was kind of overdoing it in 2019. I was going to like every event. Yes to this, yes to that, hang out with this person. I was like, I need to slow down. And now I'm looking through my phone at photos from 2019. I'm like, I'm so glad I went and did everything, because like how could have any of us known? But yeah, so that worked out for me. Let's see. Funny questions. You helped with my acne journey. I thought you were so cool and thought you were admirable. I'm really glad. I think like when we're faced with whatever it is that's difficult for us, we're like in the tunnel, so we don't know. But I think one of the most beautiful and empowering things we can do is like get through it and be able to turn around and help other people going through it too. And that can be anything. So you can turn any of the difficult things you're going through, and you don't have to, like nothing feels good when you feel like you have to. Like I'm going through this suffering so I can help other people, but it's more so like you can, if that feels like something empowering to you. And one big theme I've been learning that makes me really happy is community. When I first learned about self-love, I got a little bit lost in it. And self-love is so important to me. So important. That was like the entry drug, if you will, to a healthy relationship with myself. But I got lost in that to the point that I was like, self-love everything. I don't need anyone. I'm going to heal by myself. No relationship. Isolate myself from my friends. And I'm just going to like emerge from my apartment, this like perfect being. And it doesn't work that way, at least not for me. And I learned that the hard way. Like you really can gain so much from community. And community isn't just your friends. It can be like a support group. That's the only example I have. But yeah, so how did I get on this topic? It doesn't matter. But it's been helping me. And I don't mind. It's like an anonymous group, but like I'm in Codependence Anonymous. And that I started going to that every week through Zoom, which is great, because in person it was like a big hassle, but that's been helping me like there's something magical about it. I don't know, like 12 steps are like demonized a lot or villainized in movies, and they make them look so intense, but there's like 12 steps for like so many things, and they're all based on the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. But like support groups are amazing. 12-step groups are amazing. And there's something magical about it. Something about just showing up for yourself to something, even if you don't participate, and they're free. Like the meetings are free. Like it's something snaps in your head, and seeing other people and hearing their stories, it's very dangerous when you isolate yourself, because your mind does some shiesty things when it gets you isolated. So just being around other people who really understand you, and like friends are good, but support groups are like specifically, this is like what I'm struggling with, and these people understand, and they don't really judge in the same way, because like they don't know who you are, they don't have a history with you. But yes, Codependent Anonymous was a thing, so it's called Coda. But so that's been helping me. I feel like I'm single. is this about American Horror Story anymore? But I'm like single right now, but I am excited at the idea of when I start looking for romance again, because before it was like I need somebody to latch onto because everyone like because I really identified myself by who I was with. It was very unhealthy. And even if and when I found someone, it was like so dependent is the best way I could say. Like I would lose myself. I would stop making my art. Like everything would be based on whatever they're doing, and I would define myself through them and try to control them in really weird ways. But yeah. So if you can't tell by now, mental health, healing, community, self-love, being introspective is really big for me. That's a direction I've leaned towards a lot in my life, in my art. It's given me a lot of peace, and I'm really excited to bring that to my art. And so I could get all into that, but like last year I made a book. It was about the 5 stages of grief. It was like an art book, so it had like my makeup photos and then poetry that I written about it. And my goal, the work that makes me happiest, I'm noticing, is the work when I make work that people can rewatch or reread, and it helps them through something. So I'm really drawn to grief because I think grief, a quote that was like the basis of like my art show that I did about grief was, grief is the cost of love. And sometimes I say grief is the fair cost of love. And I say it to myself. That's never anything I would say to someone who just lost someone, because I would get slapped, and that's like, hello, social cues. But for me, I think, and grief isn't only just when someone passes. It can be grief of an ending friendship, an ending romantic relationship, the grief of leaving a city or moving to a new one, or the grief of ending a job that like really defined you, or an apartment that you have a lot of memories in, or grieving, I don't know, shaving your heads. Like some grief comes with any kind of change, even if it's a change that you want. And where was I going with this? My mind is going so fast. I can't remember, but interesting. But yeah, oh, okay, I remember now. So grief is the cost of love. And so I think for how amazing love feels, and I'm not just talking about romantic love or like sensual, sexy love, but like when you hang out with a really good friend. Like I went with one of my good friends, Dominic, to downtown Disney like a few days ago, and we see each other like once a year, and it just gives me so much joy. Like even Marisha, I don't get to see Marisha much, but whenever we do get to like FaceTime or hang out, because we're like adults now, we have like our schedules are packed. For how amazing love is, love of platonic love, romantic love, love for family, love for a passion, it makes sense that grief is so heavy. Like so heavy. Uh-oh. I'm getting emotional. I cry really easily. So if I cry, that's just what's going to happen. But so that's something I remember, and I know that's going to come back throughout my life. And so I think it's a message that I feel very good conveying in my art. And I think that's why I'm drawn to like dark aesthetics, is because I can see a way that it's used to face uncomfortable things that are really hard to face without art. Like if you think about music, like sad music or like emo rock, or songs that are a bit like about uncomfortable emotions, those things help you through. And so I think maybe horror is not the right word all the time, but I call it like dark aesthetics or the macabre. I see it as a way to like help people, like a doula of darkness. I'm a doula of darkness. I just came up with that right now. I don't know if that's really something I should use, because doulas help like bring birth. But anyway, every day, like I'm defining, like trying to define better who I am as an artist and what I used to do. I'm a doula of darkness. You know, I was like talking to this guy once. I don't talk to him anymore because he's crazy and really toxic. But what did he say to me? He was like, why do you act like you're so dark, as in like dark in spirit, when you work in the light? Which resonated with me because, like, forget him, but I can see like I'm drawn to dark things, but I just want everyone to feel warm and fuzzy inside and like, and to love themselves. And that didn't make sense to me at first because my impression of horror when I first learned about it was like slasher films, and that didn't resonate with me. And so it's been really interesting just exploring that. And I haven't really found a role model or someone that can help define it for me. And that is like exciting because it's like now I know I can't really copy someone. And it's also confusing because I'm just like, I don't even know. Like I just called myself a doula of darkness, you know? So, but it's always fun. You know, I like to make up names and terms. Like that's how I came up with my name, AUDFACED. That was me combining words and making up a new one. So, let's see. Have you ever considered redoing any of your old tutorials with the new techniques you've learned since? I've definitely thought, like I rewatch like my Left 4 Dead or any of my tutorials. I watch them, my Corpse Bride, and I'm just like I try to be gentle with myself because it was 10 years ago. And like, if you want me to be real, when I started my YouTube channel, I didn't know what I was doing. I hadn't gone to makeup school. I was literally making videos to teach myself. And I never saw it as like my career or a way to make money. And I didn't really think many people were going to watch it. And I was in the right place at the right time. Something happened. YouTube was different back then. And I just blew up in certain areas, mainly with, from what I understand, Samara, Left 4 Dead, Evil Nurse, just got some kind of traction and became part of a lot of your childhoods, which is so special and was very unexpected. But what was the question? Would I revisit any of those? I would revisit. I've been thinking of like funny videos to not remake, but to do as Samara, because I'm just thinking of like all the content I want to make, and I feel like she's a really fun character. But if I redid one, I don't really want to because I really don't like body paint. I find it so annoying to paint and wash off, and I think other people do it a lot better. I don't know if they hate washing it off, but I want to say Corpse Bride because I watched that tutorial and I'm just like really? I put like glue stick to make a hole in my face. Like what is that? But you know, I could pick apart anything I put out. I think there's like one video where I'm like, that's a perfect video to me that I'm really proud of, is my Silent Hill Dark Alessa look. I'm really proud of that one. That one and Samara. I think Samara still stands today. I think there's not that many notes. Like I'm really bothered by how I painted my leg. But I remember I was like rushing at the time because I was trying to do it before my mom came home. Like she didn't need to see me crawl out of the TV. She did, but I was rushing. But part of Odd History. I love that some of you still call me Odd. Like at first I had like this identity crisis where I was like, am I Odd or am I Cat? Like which one do I say? Do I say both? And I'm just like, people have multiple nicknames. I say Cat because that's just what I'm doing right now, but I love it when you call me Odd. Some people used to think my name was Audrey because of my screen name. Let's see. I'm curious, like if it wasn't too fast, what quote stood out to you from this American Horror Story video? I wrote all of those things, and I actually haven't seen every single episode of every single season, but I've seen at least one of each season. And yeah, I'm wondering which one stood out to you. I'm proud of all of them, but for me, the ones that stand out to me is like Asylum. So Asylum, what did it say? Like the darkness you see in others, have you noticed it in yourself? Or the where there's power over others, corruption breeds. Really resonates with me. I mean, I was raised like super religious and had to like navigate that. And so Asylum's my favorite season, for those wondering. I know a lot of people tend to ask me. No, you can call me odd. I secretly love it. Like, I really do. I accept both. Yeah, someone just asked, what is your favorite American Horror Story season? For me, it's Asylum. I love the aesthetics, the white nun character, even if she's not actually in the show. She's like, technically she's the statue. She's not an actual like moving, talking character. But the promo poster for that is really what got me onto American Horror Story. I was afraid to watch the show back in the day. I was actually really afraid of scary stuff for a long time, and something like snapped in my brain, and like I couldn't even watch Nightmare Before Christmas when I was a kid. That's how spooked I was, and I don't know, something changed clearly. But Victor said purity has many faces, as does evil. I was proud of that one. Thank you. I think about projecting a lot. So projecting is like if you see someone and you're really annoyed about a certain part of their personality, and then you realize that that's something you don't like about yourself, and it's really obvious. Like sometimes people say, if you can spot it, you got it. And so, yeah, and that's not always true, but it's always something to think about instead of like going crazy and trying to control all these like horrible things you see in the world. Like an example I could put myself on the spot is like I'll get really pissed off at like billionaires or whatever being selfish with their money, or people like not doing, like, wow, you have all this money and resources and that's what you're doing with it. And then I'm like, what am I doing with what I have? You know, not to say like I need to like carry the weight of what like a billionaire should be doing, but it's like resentment towards someone, which is something that you're suppressing about yourself. Like, yeah, I can't think of another example right now, but yeah, Asylum is my favorite season. Anyone want to guess what my second favorite season is? It's similar in aesthetic kind of to Asylum. And I have a giveaway. I know, wow, I've been talking for a long time. I can tell because I can see the time and my throat's getting shiesty. Thank you everyone for being here. Oh my goodness. Coven, no. I knew someone would say that because I'm dressed. This is actually, you know what? This dress, I've worn it for so many looks and it served me so well, but I bought this dress from Hot Topic years ago, and it's American Horror Story brand. So I think this is theoretically, I think Moira, which is the red-haired maid in Murder House season 1. Second favorite, Roanoke. No. Roanoke, actually, I really appreciate what they were trying to do. Like they kept like changing the thing, and I was like, wait, what's going on? Huh? So, but I appreciate that they were always trying to do something different, but the show itself, I was kind of like, meh. But like, this is someone who likes Asylum, you know, but yes. Apocalypse? Nope. I guess it's not. Okay, maybe my hint wasn't very good. To me, aesthetically, they're similar. So it's like in a building. That definitely gave it away. But yeah, nope, it's not Freak Show. I have such a hard appreciation for Murder House and Asylum. I noticed a lot of people who like Asylum also like Murder House like equally as much. And yes, Hotel. Hotel's my second favorite season. The storyline kind of annoyed me, but the aesthetic, like it gets like real freaky. Like at some point I was like, is this like, are we watching porn? Like what is actually happening? But the aesthetic reminded me of Seven, if you've seen that movie. And I think they know that. I think they got a lot of ideas from that. But yeah, I wish the writing was a bit tighter. And I've heard some rumors that on like the set of American Horror Story, like they've been like writing on the day of shooting, and it was like really messy and kind of last minute. And it definitely shows, right? If you have a messy blueprint, it's not going to fix itself in production. You could try to fix it in post-production, but yeah, it shows when things are done last minute. I should know because I do a lot of things last minute, and I don't necessarily love that about myself, but I'm aware of it and I'm working on it. You know what? I actually haven't seen all of Apocalypse, but I heard some people say they really loved it, and it combined Murder House and Coven, right? When Cult first came out, I was so stressed about the politics in America at the time, and I actually got like really nauseous just from watching, I think, like the intro theme, and I just stopped watching it. And I paid for it. I think I bought this season on Amazon back in the day, and I just stopped watching it. But I started watching it again because it's on Netflix, and I don't feel nauseous anymore because that's nothing compared to what the past 3 years have been. But I find it interesting, like Evan Peters in the season of Cult, showing like all the serial killers and kind of giving a history on that. It's like interesting, but I try to be careful around like this a little bit too much fascination with serial killers because I don't know. I think that can get a little bit evil at times. Just like, why are we so obsessed with evil people? But that, I don't know. But I don't know. Maybe I'm projecting. But yes. Now I wanted to get through a few things. Let's see. Apocalypse is maybe the only one I could watch. I remember I think I only saw the first episode of it, and it was just like shit hitting the fan and people freaking out, and then they're in their hideaway, and I think that's all I remember. But it was interesting coming up with these looks in this video because I hadn't seen, like, at the time 1984 hadn't even come out, but I was like, it's about 80s slasher. Let me get a knife and do my makeup a certain way and act kind of cheesy. But and I hadn't seen Cult, but if you can't tell, like a lot of these looks are based on the promo because that's really what stood out to me. Like if any of you saw the American Horror Story Anthology, that video I think came out when they were promoting Roanoke. That video, just something snapped inside my head, and I just was obsessed. And I'm really a big fan of Carrie Herta. So she's the makeup designer for the print and promo stuff. So they have a different makeup artist for like the looks for the characters in the show. But yeah, Carrie Herta, big fan of her work, and I'm going to talk a bit about her later. Towards the end, I have a little announcement, and then okay. Let's see what people are saying. Okay, I don't think I missed anything intense. I wonder does this cut off at an hour? Oh well, I have a few more things that I would love to talk about. I talked about mental health, behind the scenes memories, funny stories. This idea basically came from, that anthology video. You should really look it up. Just search American Horror Story Anthology, and it's like I think it's like 30 seconds, but it starts with the rubber suit thing from the first season, and it comes out of the white nun's eyeball from Asylum. Like that video. Yep. That was it for me. Let's see. I talked about a little bit of becoming who I was when I wasn't on YouTube. I mentioned I've been drawn to the art world, so you'll see me talking about like prints and art shows in the futures and art books and just things that are a bit more different. I had to work through not really liking the idea of just being like an influencer in the way that people usually think of influencers. Like I'm over, product reviews don't speak to me. I don't want free stuff. Like I don't want it. I don't want to talk about products. I don't want to dominantly talk about how to do what I did. I want to be the spark. I want to be an artist that inspires people by what I make to make their own thing, or to experience the film, the book, the photograph in like an introspective and therapeutic way. And I've been, for those who don't know, I went to film school. So I didn't go to makeup school. Can you believe that? I'm self-taught from making my makeup videos, and I took like a stage makeup class in community college 10 years ago, and I love that class. It was for 1 semester, so that's about 4 months, and that's really the only like training I've had. Everything else I just threw myself into it. I also learned, so I used to work as a airbrush makeup artist for this haunt event. So it's Six Flags in Southern California for Fright Fest. So that's their, Halloween season event every year. So I got thrown into that, where you just do like makeup on like this factory line for like 4 hours straight to, get everyone, all the performers ready for the haunted maze. So that taught me a lot. And because I went to film school, a lot of the people that I went to school with are, actively work in film. So sometimes they still contact me to do makeup on their films. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see me like on set a lot. A lot of those gigs came through that. And what I wanted to mention is I'm a filmmaker too, and was kind of embarrassed about and just not confident in myself. And what's happening for me right now is, and I used to be embarrassed of the films I made. I made a lot of short horror films when, ooh, my voice is going, in college, and I let people get to me. College is really messy, and looking back, I'm glad that I wasn't like praised, because the last thing I want is to, get like big-headed, especially when you're much younger. But I had some classmates that, for me, and I may be making this more intense in my head, but they like made fun of my work. So when I would screen my films, like they would laugh or like pick it apart or say like, really, like you want to make horror films, and blah, 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 blah. And so after, Amelia's in here. Amelia, real quick, the Amelia Fortes. So she's someone who's helped me a lot with self-love. And I signed up for life coaching in this group program she has. And that's one of, I was talking a lot about support groups earlier. And, as much as I was like, self-love, I was like, oh, wait, there's only so much healing you can do alone. Like so much, the next level is like healing by opening yourself up, which is really scary for me, because I was like, I don't want to open myself up to anyone. I'm going to heal all by myself and then come out a perfect divine being. And that's not, it doesn't work like that. It'd be a lot easier if it did, but it'd also be like really lonely. But, what was I saying? I'm coming back to film. So, I really enjoyed writing. I took a screenwriting class in college like 3 times. I really loved the teacher, but I love helping people with their scripts. No, not all the time, but I am part of like a writing group, and we share our writing every few weeks and give each other feedback. And what I wanted to say is I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I knew enough about horror. I didn't think I knew what I was talking about. I didn't know film history in the same way all these like dominantly male film buffs at my school were. And I was like, I don't know who this whatever all the if you've gone to film school, I can't even pull up some names. It doesn't matter, but they'd be like, you haven't seen this, or like you say you like horror and you haven't watched all of Alfred Hitchcock's films, and you haven't seen Inception, Pulp Fiction. And I was like, fuck you, but like back then I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know anything. Like I grew up on Disney movies. I don't know anything. And now I'm in film school, blah, 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 whatever. All of that's over. And so anyway, what's happening for me is I'm coming full circle, where I'm just like, it's fine. I am who I am. I grew up on what I grew up on. This is interesting to me. And a quote that's really resonating with me right now is, you have a lot to bring to the table, so act like it. And, there's, as an Asian American, as a woman, as someone with like multiple like mental disorders, I have a lot to bring to the table. Like these are like stories that I can share, that I can infuse into work, that I can put out there to float around this world while I'm here. And I didn't understand that at first. And yeah, so where am I going with this? What you're going to start seeing from me, is this going to cut off at an hour? Does anyone know? This is my first YouTube live stream, so I don't know if it's going to cut me off at 1 hour like it does on Instagram. Hopefully not, because I have a giveaway, but I am reaching the end. If anyone knows if it cuts you off, please tell me, because I don't want to get cut off. I don't think it'll cut. I think you can stream for like hours. That'll be fun. Let's hope not. I think it should give me a warning if it's going to cut me off. But anyway, so I am coming back to film, and I'm excited. I'm legitimately excited to make films. Obviously, there's a pandemic right now, but you can still write them. And some people are shooting them, but for me, I'm good. Like in my little hub, just writing things. I have a lot of backed up projects. You can tell from this one. This one was shot last year. I have a bunch of other stuff shot. Like I have stuff from Halloween Horror Nights from 2 years ago that I think would actually be really therapeutic to edit together, because there's no Halloween Horror Nights this year. And those of you know what it is. It's a haunt event in Los Angeles at Universal Studios. I have so much stuff. So really what I want to say, to my people who have been with me from 2011 to now, is that my content is going to be changing a bit, and it might be upsetting, but it's going to be okay. It's not just going to be makeup tutorials anymore. There might be a vlog. No, I don't know I guess they are vlogs, but yeah, I enjoy bringing you in my pocket with me. I really enjoy making stuff on my story on Instagram. And so you're going to see me like making some stuff, for YouTube, even if it was shot like vertically, whatever, and just bringing you along on the ride. And I love talking about movies. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, for a period, like maybe 2 months ago, I was doing a series called Cinema Therapy, and it was mainly, during the Black Lives Matter movement, which is still going, but I would assign, a film that was usually available on Netflix, because I know a lot of people have it, and we would talk about it afterwards and just, take hold of our own diversity, education, and it was great. And sometimes it wasn't necessarily about that. It was just watching movies and talking about them. A lot of people learn better when you see some content and then you talk to someone about it. It helps you like digest the information and form your opinion and help you better understand it too. And so I've been thinking about like, do movie reviews fit into AUDFACED as a brand? And I'm like, well, they do now, because that's what it is. So AUDFACED right now, and this might change because like we all change, but I'm trying, as a brand, I'm like trying to, okay, make it make sense, but it's makeup, monsters, movies, and mental health. And that feels really good to me right now. And mental health. And that feels really good to me right now. You might see a little show. It might be on Instagram, maybe on YouTube. I don't know. I'm figuring it out. On mental health more often, just more of like an easygoing, just like chatting over coffee type vibe. Let's just talk about some stuff. And yeah, I could talk about a lot of stuff there. Oh my gosh, there's so many topics. And so you're gonna see more like everyday stuff. I know usually my videos are like this epic grand thing that I like put together, and it takes me like years to edit. And I love making videos like that. I love making videos that, to me, my goal is to make them like a Broadway show, because to me, Broadway shows as a kid were the spark. And I would love to make that. I feel like this was a version of that. I wanted you to think like you were in a theater and you came to this show to see the theater, but to also like see a mirror of yourself and look within. But yeah, so I would love to keep making grand videos like that, but there's also going to be more stuff about film, more stuff about like on the go, whatever, stuff about mental health. There might be like a movie review series. And I'm excited for you to show it. It might, yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. I think that's everything. Yes. And then earlier, if you're still here from earlier, I mentioned I had an art show about grief, the faces of grief, and I like hired a videographer. So I have a lot of footage from that, and I wasn't in the right mindset to edit it then, but that's like next on the plate. And it'd be silly to tell myself like I could edit it in a month, because it took me a month to edit like a 5-minute video. but anyway, I'm really excited for it because I think the perspective I can give it now is really exciting to me. And for those who don't know, it's like a really awesome event. It was like a runway show, a runway performance. I had an art booth where I was like selling my art prints for the first time, and I was like super anxious. I had a meltdown that morning. I had my videographer. It's great. Like, it was grief. Like, I was going through the 5 stages of grief. But in all seriousness, I really stand by the message of it about grief being the cost of love. And also, we don't get to choose what we're grieving about, or who we love, or who leaves, or who dies. But just like a runway, this is something I said to my performers in the show, was like, how are you choosing to get from point A to point B? Which isn't just for grief. It's like anything that's thrown in your way. But I'm really excited to edit that. When I watch Rihanna's Fenty, her Savage Fenty shows, that was a big inspiration for that. So she was a spark for me in the same way Broadway shows as a kid sparked what I showed you tonight. And so, you don't know, like, whether you're an artist, all of us are creative. Whatever it is that you work in, whatever it is you do, you have no idea if your thing is just going to spark something that's just going to like help so many people. And a lot of times we won't know, like they won't tell us because they didn't know. And so, I'm over an hour and I haven't been cut off. So I think we're good, but we are reaching the end. I think people are talking and I will pay attention, but let me finish what I'm saying first so I don't get distracted. Too late. I just forgot what I was saying. Oh, well. But the last thing, so I have a giveaway that I'm going to do. And okay. My brain has like 7 trains going on. I'm like, wait, what? Okay. Hashtag grief is messy. So Amelia was one of my performers. She played bargaining. So the 5 stages of grief are denial, bargaining, anger, depression, and acceptance. So I asked her if she wanted to represent this stage, and she did it beautifully, awesomely. There's a photo of her and I on stage on my Instagram. You should totally look at it. It's great. And every time I put the show together in like 20 days because I was procrastinating, because that's just how I am usually. But it was messy, but we got through it, and we just kept saying like, grief is messy. We messy bitches. And so okay, let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. I did notice the 22 people live. Now there's 16, and the 16 likes. And I want to thank everyone who's stayed here, who's been here for the show. I didn't think I was going to talk this long, but I get so nervous, and then once it's happening, I'm like, wow, it's been like over an hour, and I still have so much more to say. But I always do the best when I procrastinate. So Amelia, she has like this thing. You should totally take the quiz, but I'll try to say this as fast as I can. But she has this personality quiz called the Sparkle Archetype, and there's 4 types you can get, and it's basically how you best move in this world. And anyway, so I took the quiz multiple times, and I got a rebel. Amelia's also a rebel, but one of the things about rebels is we like, our best work comes out when we procrastinate. Like, not that we should always procrastinate, like self-sabotage is a really like fine line, but whatever. So maybe you're a rebel too, because if your best work comes out when you procrastinate, that's just when your best work comes out. It's really funny for me is like when I plan ahead and then my work is like mediocre, and I'm just like, well, I guess I should make it last minute. But I still that's a whole topic. I can't get too deep into that, but I feel like, I don't know what your name is. I see Shaylas45. I think you're a rebel too. But yeah, y'all should totally check out her website. I don't know if it's ameliafortes.com or the ameliafortes.com, but she has like this, it's called the sparkle archetype. It's super, super interesting. And it leads back to self-love and just self-awareness and understanding yourself better, so you like stop unnecessary suffering and the self-sabotage. Okay, so before things get too crazy, maybe Victor's a rebel. We're all rebels. Just kidding, that's probably a rebel thing. But there's rebel, alchemist, queen, and priestess. I can't. I could talk about that forever. I could talk about a lot of things forever. So, what was I gonna say? What is the website? Oh, you know what? Let me just make sure I'm saying. Is it Amelia? It's ameliafortes.com. Amelia Fortes. Because her Instagram is the Amelia Fortes. But anyway, this hoe has helped me so much with my self-love and just my self-sabotage, really. But okay, what was I gonna do? I'm doing a giveaway, right? So I am giving away, so I started selling, there's like print on there, but if you go to my website AUDFACED.com and go to shop, there's apparel that I started making. I wanted to make like t-shirts and like stuff for 10 years, and I finally did it. So I have like one thing, 2 designs out, and they're mainly pumpkin themed. But if you follow me on Instagram, if you're on Instagram, please follow me on Instagram, because I'm like super obnoxiously active on Instagram compared to YouTube, but that's where a lot of my personality is. So I also started a TikTok, but I'm still like really confused by how that works. But anyway, Instagram is like my main platform. But tonight, for everyone here, I will be giving this away. These normally go for $40. They're normally $40, but this is I'm giving this away to someone who wants it. So don't enter if you don't want it. But what was I gonna say? So to win this, I'm going to give this and send it to you wherever you are in the world, even if you're in New Zealand. Oh gosh, but shipping costs, but I'll do it. Trivia. What year did American Horror Story start? Google it, bitches, because I don't know who knows it off the top of their head. The first person to say the right answer, the year American Horror Story started, will win this. And I think I can message on YouTube. I don't know. We'll figure it out. 2008. Nope. Hey, Kwesi. I went to film school with Kwesi, and we watch movies together, and he's a dear friend. Shipping costs. I don't think now I'm doubting myself. No, it's not 2008. Nope. Yes. So if no one wants it, that's okay. I'm going to sell it for $40. But I sold these at my art show, and this was the bestseller. I remember I had a few of these. 2011. Caleb, I think, wait, make sure. Caleb, you have won this print. Congratulations. Amelia got it too, but like a second later. So 2011 is when Murder House started, which is the first season. And okay, congrats. Thank you for playing trivia with AUDFACED. Caleb, let me write that down because I'd be forgetting things. Caleb Brown has won. And if you want your own, I'm going to put up a lot more. A lot of them are only a few prints in circulation to make it just more special. And also for me to like move on and make more stuff. But yeah, check out my website. I wanted to have them up today, but it didn't happen because I was procrastinating. But I'm going to, especially during Christmas season, they'll start going up. Okay. Amelia says, congrats, Caleb, even though I'm salty. We salty bitches. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is, what am I doing? Can you see that? Ooh, what is that? This is my first ever t-shirt design. This is it in the form of tank top. It says pumpkin spiced, and it has my website on the bottom, so you give me free advertising. So this is one of the looks I made this year. This is me holding a pumpkin. And so I'm going to give a free shirt, either a tank top or a t-shirt, to the person who writes a haiku about pumpkins. So if you want to win, just write. You don't have to rush. It's fine. I'm going to read them all at the end. And so write a haiku about pumpkins and post it in the comments. And I'm going to /shop and order one. Check it out. There's also a hoodie that says, I don't have one on me right now, but it says under every mask is a story. So write your haikus, put them in the comments. I'm going to choose one, and then you're going to win a free pumpkin spiced t-shirt or tank top. And you don't have to rush. Like it's fine. It's not like the first person who writes a haiku. I'm going to say like the haiku that makes me giggle from inside or is clever. I don't know. Okay, what else am I doing? I see some haikus coming up. I'm not going to look at them right now. Thank you, everyone who already ordered something. I'm excited for you to see it. They're very soft. That's what I like about them. And make sure to read the tag on how to like wash it, because the unit I live in, I don't know what they did to the washer, but it's like stretching out, like overheating everyone's clothes. Okay, so let's see. I think we're reaching the end of this Q&A. I can't believe there's so many people in here. I hope you feel fulfilled having seen the video live with me and getting to chat. It's really amazing getting to connect with you all and get to talk about not just, makeup, but mental health and the direction I'm going, and feel received and accepted and seen by you, and like as an artist and as a human. So, yeah, I think that's all my notes. At the end, I'm just going to choose someone. Really, I'm just trying to make you all write haikus about pumpkins. But definitely follow me on Instagram if you into that or whatever, because I post a lot on my story, and I've had people who thought they knew me, who followed me on Instagram, and they're like, now I feel like I really know you because you be posting some things. And I was like, yeah, sometimes I'm afraid I'm oversharing. I'm like, am I oversharing, or am I being vulnerable, or is there like a little mix of both? I don't know. But yeah, I like Instagram. I like it a little too much, but I'm on there. So, and you will be seeing me more on YouTube too. And I have my film festival coming up at the end of this month. So maybe you've seen some of them already. You can't anymore because they're all private, but I'm going to have a little film festival to celebrate my short films that I made when I was younger, and really to just celebrate them because they're all like in the horror aesthetic. And I understand them now. When I made them, I was proud, and then I got embarrassed and weird and let people get inside my head. And now I'm celebrating them, and then I'm going to move on and make new art, right? So it's really about celebrating and not shaming our past or whatever, our past projects, and even if it wasn't perfect, and releasing and moving on. So that is going to be, I was going to have it on October 30th, but they're having like a hocus pocus thing that night on a live, and I don't really want to take people away from that, and I might be watching it, so I might move it. But follow me on Instagram, and if you're subscribed to me, thank you so much. And a little fun announcement I wanted to make is, so Carrie Herta, so she's the designer of the American Horror Story posters. I will be taking next month. She has a boot camp, which is basically like a master class in Los Angeles. So I signed up. I paid my deposit, so I'm going to be a student of hers, and I'm really excited. I just thought it was super relevant to announce it here, but also, like, if you want to sign up, I don't think it's too late. But check out her website. It's colorboxmakeup.com. So this is some of her work. She's amazing. So I saw her at a workshop, and she was talking about, like, social media strategies, and I can't remember what the theme was, but I just really connected with how she spoke, and I could tell that she really... There's some people who are just good at what they do, but not very good at speaking about it or talking about it or connecting with their audience. She's not that. So I was like nonstop taking notes, whatever she was talking about. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is gold. Like, everything's gold. And her personality was so warm. And what I really loved about her was she really pushes the idea of, like, makeup artists not competing with each other, because it can be a really catty and vain industry. And the respect of, like, the makeup department, respecting hair, respecting costumes, respecting the lighting design team, especially on film sets. Film sets are usually really, like, high strung, and everyone's stressed out and ego and all this stuff. And I was like, that's someone I really want to learn from. And so I really appreciate that she wasn't playing into this, like, toxic, I'm the best makeup artist, or this department is the best, and really just a mutual respect of, like, we are on the same team creating this vision, this art. And also just how she carries herself on social media. So for those who don't know, I didn't go to makeup school, and it's always been a little dream of mine. And it's a 5-day boot camp, but to me, I'm just gonna, like, live my little fantasy of, like, getting to be a student. I love being a student. I feel like I learn really well that way. I've been like that since I was a kid. And the date kept getting pushed back because there was a pandemic. It was supposed to be in May, but now it's going to be in November. So, hey, maybe I'll vlog about that too. So I'm going to focus, and be present. But if I can, maybe I'll put together some, like, footage or on the go stuff from that, and you'll get to see, like, what I create under her supervision. And it's really great timing. Not that a pandemic was really good timing, but they updated the class to teach us about how to, like, be makeup artists working in this pandemic time, and sanitation rules, and just doing everything in this new way that wasn't as strict as it was before. And me as a makeup artist, like, I've worked on sets. It can be fun. Sometimes I find it really, really annoying and stressful. It's just very, like, unnatural, just being thrown into this environment. And the call times are like 4 a.m. sometimes. But I know that a part of me still has a deep love for it. I think I can approach it from a much healthier mindset, because my anxiety is more in check, because anxiety in film shoots they don't work very well. But now I, like, know more about boundaries and, like, setting realistic expectations, when someone's like, how long is this going to take? How much time do you need? Blah, blah, blah. So what I wanted to say was, you'll see me, talking about being on sets as a makeup artist, but also being a makeup artist for, in the art world, just making, like, canvas stuff, and, like, having, like, an art gallery, or doing live performance, like, things that are a bit more, like, theatrical, or like a one-woman show. So yeah, I'm really excited for where my makeup is going to go career-wise. I feel like there's so much to do and to try out, and I'm glad that I took this time away, because if I just stayed in the box of, like, I'm a YouTuber, I think I would have subconsciously just kept doing what I thought a YouTuber is supposed to do to be successful. And to me, that's very, that wouldn't have made me happy. And I don't think that's the best way I could shine in this world. I think there are people who that is what they're meant to do, and they are doing it beautifully and, like, happily, and you can tell, because they glow and they're excited to do it. But for me, it's more avant-garde and weird and you know, it's AUDFACED. Like I feel like you probably get it by now. So I'm excited for that. And then wait, I will read the haikus, and I think is that it? I know I'm forgetting something. I wrote something down. I should just start reading the haikus. Okay. Let's see. Now I'm nervous. I want to choose someone randomly, but I can't do that because, okay, let me just read these. Okay, let me try to find the top. Who wrote the first one? Okay. Orange is your smile. Victor! I think you pressed enter too early. Pumpkin spice, yum. Wait, I need to count this to make sure these are actually the right syllables. Got rules now. Okay, pumpkin spice, yum, yum. I ain't no basic biatch. Love me, pick me, please. Okay, so wait, let me write this down because I will forget. Okay, Amelia. Okay. Wait, is this a haiku? I know it's 2011 because it came. No, that's not a haiku. Okay, so Victor said, orange is your smile, grinning and beaming all through the night, pierce the dark. Okay, wait, orange is your smile. Okay, it's a jack-o'-lantern. Okay, wait, is it? At first I was just thinking of like a human with orange teeth, and I was like, oh, that's scary. Or maybe it is. Interesting. Wait, okay. Wait, I feel like I need to read that again. Orange is your smile, grinning and beaming all through the night, pierce the dark. Okay, I feel it. Okay, other haiku. Shade Kelly says orange. That's two syllables. Orange round melon. You are delicious in pie, but gross as a soup. I feel that. Shade Kelly. Okay. I loved your rainy day makeup tutorial. You remember that? I was so messy that day. Thank you. I'm so glad you remember that. It was literally raining and I just went outside and was like, I'm going to do a makeup tutorial on how to do your makeup so that the rain doesn't wash it off. Really, the only thing I did was put on waterproof mascara and was like, yep, this is my tip for you. But like, I went outside with an umbrella and it was like storming and my mom was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm filming a makeup tutorial. Oh, good times. Okay, Caleb, with my sharpened knife, might carve out a spooky face. I'll call him my Jack. Ooh. That reminds me of the movie Trick or Treat. I just saw Trick or Treat for the first time last year. Can you imagine? I can see why it's a classic. I actually haven't seen it this year during the season. Okay. My brain has stopped working. I can't write a haiku. This is true. I know like a few people are on New York time, or someone was in Japan and Hawaii, and I don't even know the time there. But we are coming to the end. Let me just read these haikus and choose somebody. Wait. My brain has stopped working. Okay, one cold foggy. One cold foggy night. Your eyes are orange in the dark. Your eyes are orange in the dark. Oh no! I think that's 8 syllables. It's okay. Give your the spice. Oh wait, no. The slash is in the wrong spot. So one cold foggy night. Your eyes are orange in the dark. Give your. Now my brain stopped working. Wait, I feel it though. That one is also a jack-o'-lantern. Yes. Lazuli. I see you. Thank you for writing haikus. This is like a thing. I know I'm like being true to myself because when I was a kid, I would just like constantly come up with haikus and speak to my family in haikus. It was very strange, but it's like very, very me, very authentic. It's 11:33 a.m. tomorrow in Japan. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you everyone for writing your haikus. It's 7:35 p.m. at night, Wednesday, here in Los Angeles. I hate choosing things because I don't like there to be people who didn't win, but I'm gonna choose Amelia because I laughed the most. So Amelia, you won. Wait, I missed someone. I'm so sorry. This is exactly what I didn't want to happen. Shayla's, I'm sorry I missed yours. Okay. Smile dark as the night, lit up with the candle so bright in your big eyes. Oh, Shayla's. I already chose a winner. I'm so sorry, but I'm digging these jack-o'-lantern haikus. I feel like I could just sit on a porch drinking a pumpkin spice latte while, well, I'm not going to do this because there's a pandemic, but while kids are trick-or-treating, and I would just like recite these as they walk by, and they'd be like, is this a trick or is this a treat? Should we approach her? But yay. Okay. Yes. Thank you, everyone. If you want your own, definitely check it out. I'm going to be making more designs at some point, but I think this is cute because I love pumpkins. I know some people are like, pumpkins are basic, but it's like, if you like something, then do that, be happy. So I can't wait to wear this. Thank you, Jessica Schultz. All my friends in real life and my friends in spirit that I have not met in person yet, and it's inspiring my next makeup look. Yes. Amelia, I saw your blue look. I didn't get to tell you, but the live stream you did that I missed. I see you creating. Everyone, if you have any last minute questions, drop them now or forever. Hold your peace, at least until my next live stream. I always feel like I'm forgetting something, but I think that would be my anxiety. Happy Halloween. Please, I keep saying follow me on Instagram, but I mean it because that's where a lot of my announcements come. I'm also on Facebook, but happy Halloween. If I don't get to say it to you closer to the day, I know this year has been wild, and we've had to face a lot of uncomfortable things, and you made it through. Like, you survived pandemic and everything else that would have happened this year that has been intense. So like, you're a badass. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for interacting with me. I hope you are enjoying this season. I've been making sure I make time to watch like my favorite movies from like the Disney Channel original movies, and I always make sure I make time to go to like a Halloween shop and just, I don't really buy stuff, but just do things, that make you happy, that bring you joy. Wear a mask and be safe about it, because there's a lot of, if you're in America, the election's coming up. There's a lot of important and stressful things coming up, but make time for some fun, some joy. Take care of yourselves, and end show. Curtains close. Okay. How do I do this? Okay. I'm going to click end stream. Well, good night. Good morning, everyone. I don't want to say goodbye. I just want to keep talking, but like, I should go. Okay. Yes, I'll do more of these live streams. Take care, everyone.